Another day as a uni student. I barely slept at night doing all my assignments. I'm starving. You know what? I'm gonna get a simple breakfast before heading to uni. Yes, hard-boiled eggs. Eggs are cheap, nutritious, and most importantly, easy to cook. Where are all my eggs? I have no eggs. Never mind. I'll get some eggs on my way to uni. I'm gonna get some eggs for lunch today. Oh, why are the eggs so expensive now?
That's because the price of egg has increased due to the changes in supply and also demand.
What is supply and demand?
Recently, supply decreased due to the higher feed cost and also transportation costs. At the same time, the demand remains high because eggs are basic food for students like you. I know lah, eggs are very expensive now. Every day people come and ask me, why do egg prices increase again? Some see the shelves empty and think we hide the stock, but it's not really like that. Actually, Malaysian eats a lot of eggs. We eat it for breakfast, lunch, and also dinner. We are even ranked as the 30th in the world for egg consumption, with about 16.8 kilograms per person per year. So demand is already very high. When people see news saying eggs are limited or price going up, everyone rush to buy. One person buys 2 trays, another one buys 3 trays. That's why you see empty shelves. So eggs are expensive not because we are greedy, but because too many people want egg at the same time. That's the real situation. Even though the price goes up, people still buy because eggs are basic necessities. You can buy less, but you can't stop buying. So demand stays strong and prices don't come down easily. Because of that, the government and suppliers must limit the purchase 1 tray per person. We also don't want to be strict, but if there is no limit, it finishes in the morning. Latecomers get nothing. When supply decreases and demand stays the same, so the equilibrium price increases.
I have no choice to buy lesser egg now.
How much is delivery cost right now?
Delivery cost is now 100 ringgit.
So expensive! As an egg producer, the situation is very difficult for us. Everywhere, cost of production is increases. The corn, soybean, it increases. On top of that, logistic, delivery, and all of the production-related costs also being a burden for us. We just cannot stop feeding them or stop the production just because the costs are rising. Egg production really depends on heavily inputs like animal feed, logistics, labor, etc. If this cost is increases, we need to adjust the prices to ensure that our production still get profit. This is not a profit maximization, this is a recovery of the cost. If some producer decide to stop their production just because they cannot catch up with the production cost, it will lead to supply decreases. If supply decreases and demand still stable in that quantity, the price will be rises because of this imbalance. But we, as egg producers, we need the price adjustment to ensure that our business is sustained and we ensure that we still can provide eggs for the consumer.
Chicken and eggs. For most Malaysians, they are primary sources of protein. After all, they are widely available and more affordable than meat and fish. In fact, they're so important to Malaysians that the government has put a cap on the selling price of chicken and eggs. And the price ceiling has been in place for some time. But on Friday, in tabling the budget, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim announced the price ceiling would be scrapped. A bold move, but one that is necessary.
If you ask us, we prefer the price to be float. But then when the price to be float, right, then the government should not be intervene on the price. Right? So we just hope that after the price ceiling removed, I think the price will adjust. When they actually set the price too low, it's not fair for the farmer also.
And it's not just chicken and egg producers who think it's a good move. Retailer Amir Ali Maidan also agrees.
I'm Divya Vertan. My focus today is only how consumers reacted to these higher prices. According to the law of demand, when the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded decreases, assuming other factors remain constant. So when egg prices went high, consumers naturally adjusted their buying behavior. Others might switch from premium to a grade C to a grade A, which is smaller to cheaper alternative. Consumers may complain about the higher grocery bills, but they still continue buying eggs because there are limited substitutes that provide the same nutrition at the same cost. From the demand from different income groups perspective, lower income households tend to be more price sensitive. When egg prices rise, these households may cut consumption more significantly or substitute eggs with a cheaper protein option such as tofu. On the other hand, higher income households are less affected and may continue buying eggs with little or no change in quantity demanded. This difference shows how income level affects the demand responsiveness even for necessity goods.
Good evening, my name is Sana Hazika, and tonight we will take a closer look at the supply side of egg market in Malaysia. Now, eggs are not just our breakfast favorite, they're one of the most important and affordable protein sources for Malaysian households. So understanding how they reach our plate is key to understanding food security. First, let's look at egg producers and the production structure. Malaysia's egg supply is dominated by commercial layer farms. These are large-scale operations where thousands and even sometimes millions of laying hens are raised in controlled environments. Smaller family-run farms still exist, but for the majority of eggs come from commercial producers who benefit from economic of scale. However, egg production isn't something that can change overnight. Hens must first be raised for several months before they begin laying, and even then, each hen only produces a certain number of eggs per year. This biological limit means that egg supply cannot be immediately increased just because demand or the price rises. In short, production is steady but not instantly flexible. Next, we will turn to input cost, which play a major role in shaping supply. The biggest cost for egg producers is feed, especially corn and soybean meal. Much of this feed is important, so global commodity prices and exchange rates directly influence costs here at home. On top of that, producers must pay for labor, electricity, transport, veterinarian services, and biosecurity. When these input costs rise, the cost of production of egg increases. This reduces producers' willingness to supply egg at the same price. On the other hand, if cost falls, producers may find it easier and more profitable to expand supply. So behind every humble egg is a stack of bills, spreadsheets, and feed trucks quietly doing the economic heavy lifting. So how does egg supply increase or decrease? Poultry and eggs are two essential sources of protein and nutrition for people worldwide. Both poultry and eggs are widely consumed in Malaysia, playing a crucial role in the country's food security and economy. The gross domestic product GDP for the poultry industry has steadily increased over the years, showing in Figure 1. The poultry industry has contributed about 0.7% of the share of GDP in 2021. Poultry and eggs are affordable sources of protein and are widely consumed in Malaysia. According to the Department of Statistics of Malaysia, the average Malaysian consumes 41.8 kilograms of poultry meat and 224 eggs in 2020. Both poultry and eggs have achieved self-sufficient rate, SSR, above 100%. 136% for poultry and 114.4% for eggs. As shown in Table 1, the price of eggs and chickens are relatively low compared to other neighboring countries. However, there have been concerns about the supply and the price of poultry and eggs from Malaysia in recent years. Finally, government policies and regulations are a crucial part of the story. Malaysia monitors eggs prices closely because eggs are a basic necessity. Policies may include price controls, subsidies, or temporary import approvals when shortages occur. Food safety and animal health regulations also shape how farms operate, especially during disease outbreaks. These policies aim to protect consumers while ensuring producers remain viable. Striking this balance is essential because without sustainable producers, supply cannot be maintained. In conclusion, the supply side of Malaysia's egg market is shaped by farmers, cost, capacity limits, and government policy. Behind every carton of egg on the supermarket shelf is a network of economic decisions, biological realities, and policy choices working quietly in the background. Now, I will pass it to Ziwin that will be analyzing the market outcome focusing on equilibrium in Malaysia's egg market. Thank you.
A very good afternoon, I'm Eng Siwan and I'll be analysing the market outcome, focusing on equilibrium in Malaysia's egg market. After examining changes in demand and supply, equilibrium helps us understand the final result, whether the market is experiencing shortages, surpluses, or efficiencies. If egg prices rise too high, some consumers reduce purchases or switch to cheaper alternatives such as tofu, which was mentioned by the previous speaker. While producers may still increase output expecting high profit, there will be unsold eggs stocked up and this increases spoilage risk. Here, the excess supply above equilibrium creates a surplus, pushing price downwards. Both shortages and surpluses are temporary because markets have a built-in adjustment mechanism, often described as Adam Smith's invisible hand. Equilibrium is stable because any deviation creates forces that push the market back. In the context of Malaysia's egg market, allocative efficiency improved in 2024 when retail egg prices were reduced by 3 cents following lower production and transport costs. This suggests that egg prices move closer to marginal cost, allowing consumers to purchase eggs at the price that reflect their true economic value. In the result, eggs were produced and consumed at a socially optimal quantity, with no persistent shortage or overproduction. Productive efficiency was also improved in Malaysia's egg market in 2024. The sharp reduction in government subsidy spending from 927 million ringgit in 2023 to around 100 million ringgit in 2024 indicates that producers were able to supply eggs at lower cost without heavy financial support from the government. This suggests that egg producers were operating more efficiently by using less resources per unit of output and producing closer to the minimum average cost. In summary, Malaysia's egg market experienced temporary shortages and price pressures in 2024. Through price adjustments and cost changes, the market moved toward a new equilibrium where equilibrium price and quantity were restored. Moreover, allocative and productive efficiency were also achieved. However, because eggs are staple food with high consumption, the government chose to intervene and stabilize prices. Whether such intervention supports or distorts market equilibrium, it will be discussed by the next speaker. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, I'm Udiani. Let me start with something relatable. Imagine going to the grocery store and suddenly eggs, something that you buy almost every week, become more expensive or hard to find. You don't really think about like demand or supply curves. You just think, why is this happening? And who is going to fix this? This is usually the moment when the government steps in. In simple terms, government interventions happen when prices or shortage start affecting people's daily life, especially for basic food items. Eggs are not luxury goods. So when the market struggles, the government doesn't just watch, they act. In Malaysia, during 2024, this is exactly what happened. As Ms. Siwan and Ms. Devra explained earlier, eggs prices went up mainly because production became more expensive. Feed costs increased, transport costs rise, and supply couldn't respond quickly. At the same time, people didn't really stop buying eggs because eggs are still one of the cheapest protein options in the market. This created tension in the market. Prices were rising, but demand stayed strong. To protect consumers, especially lower-income households, the government introduced price controls and subsidies. What does this mean in practice? Instead of letting egg price fully increase, the government helped cover part of the cost. In 2023 alone, government spending on egg subsidies reached around 927 million ringgit. This allowed consumers to continue buying eggs at a more affordable prices. From the consumer side, life could go on as usual. Family could still cook at home without cutting eggs from their meals. These interventions matter because we can actually see what happens when government do not step in. For example, in the United States in 2022, when egg supply was hit by avian flu and there were no price control, egg prices more than doubled within a year. Some consumers reduced consumption sharply, while others struggled to afford basic food items. However, intervention also comes with side effects. Because prices were kept low in Malaysia, people continued buying eggs as if nothing had changed, but producers were facing higher costs, and some farmers struggled to keep up the production. So, eggs become harder to find, and this is what we saw temporary shortage and purchase limit earlier in 2024, as Ms. Ang Siwan explained in her equilibrium analysis. To solve this, the government had another solution, importing eggs from neighborhood countries like Thailand. This increased the number of eggs in the market quickly. When shelves are full again, people stop panic buying and the situation become calmer. Now, here's an important part of the story. Government intervention is not meant to last forever. It works best as a temporary support, not a permanent solution. When costs started to stabilize in mid-2024, the government slowly reduced subsidies. At the same time, egg prices were lowered by 3 cents nationwide, not because of the heavy control, but because production and transport costs had improved. This is a good example of balance. So, in this case, the government's role was like a stabilizer, stepping in when the market becomes stressful and stepping back when the condition improves. To conclude, Malaysia's intervention in the egg market helped protect consumers during a difficult period, ensure food security, and prevent bigger disruption in the market. Without intervention, prices could have risen sharply, consumption should have fallen, and food stress would have increased, as seen in other countries like United States. But equality important. The government should know when to reduce involvement and allow the market to function more normally again, naturally. The balance is what makes intervention effective, not controlling everything, but guiding the market through difficult times.
Oh, the price for chicken eggs has reduced. Now it's only 6 ringgit and 90 cents.